Hi, everybody. Dave and Kirsten Hart here. We're so glad you've joined us today. We have a familiar face to some of you, hopefully to many of you. Right here, this guy right over here, who's been on our program for years. Hi, Joshua.
Hi, how are y'all guys doing?
We're
We're good.
good.
So glad to have you with us today.
Very
Um,
excited to be here.
so, you are a familiar face on our program.
And every social media
Yes.
outlet that we have, you're bearded, you have a brother, and you like the Bible, right?
I mean, those are three of the most important factors I think you can have nowadays. And it's no coincidence it started with beard too. So
Hey,
Nice.
thank you. Well, it's not even No Shave November, and you've already got a good one going.
yeah, this sucker is kind of like the I shaved yesterday, but I'm Jewish, so it popped up by 5 o'clock.
As you can.
If
as
you haven't
can.
seen these guys in the Bearded Bible Brothers, say that 5 times real fast. You're missing out. It's fun, and it's a lot of questions that you may have answered by these guys, you and your brother. And how'd you guys start this? What made you
we've always had a heart for ministry. We've always wanted to, inform people more about Yeshua and clarify the Bible a little bit. But it started with the premise of wanting to be able to break down concepts in a simple way, explore the origins of it to today's audience who might not be in a church building somewhere asking those questions, but still have the questions. And so Caleb came up with a concept, and as usual, dragged me along and said I had to be there. And once again, he was right. So
we like the spinner. I like the spinner.
Yes.
Whose idea was that?
Big G's integral. I don't even know if we got to claim we had an idea. He just showed up in our life, and he's been there ever since. I'm glad it happened. So
That's awesome. So you didn't just start with Bearded Bible Brothers. You've been a part of Zola Levitt Ministries for years. Tell us about that.
years and years. So I worked at Zola Levitt Ministries, I want to say 15, 16 years ago. And I started off in editing and filming, traveling all over, been to Israel, Germany, worked on several projects, played several characters, played Samson before, done some tourism videos. So I've been in like every facet of the program. Then Caleb came on the show and kind of took over for me, and he's been there ever since. So
Okay, did Berg Productions find you, or did you go to them? How did that happen?
my goodness, I have to think about that for a second. So I found Berg Productions through a friend of mine. His father worked on the program, and they were looking for somebody with my skill set. And it was really interesting because showed up, and then I'd heard of Zoe Levitt before, but then to find out just that he was this pioneer for Messianic belief and just everything that he'd been doing, and being a Messianic believer myself, I was just like, wow, this is an opportunity to learn and to join in this mission of showing that Jesus is and was the Messiah.
Messianic believer, which means you and your brother have Jewish blood, and you tell us about
Yes.
where you come from. It's awesome.
Okay. So we are of Jewish descent. Mama is our strong Jewish roots. Dad's got some Jewish roots in him as well. But basically, that means that we could go get citizenship in Israel and, show that our family heritage goes all the way back. And so it's really interesting because my father and mother came to know Yeshua as Messiah even before we were born. So we never really had to face the struggle that a lot of Jews do, where they have to overcome the concept that Yeshua was not the Messiah as some believe. And so we were raised in the faith, and it was really exciting. So we've kind of been pioneering our whole life, just loving on Jesus and trying to tell the world about it.
Did you grow up in a Messianic congregation?
We didn't actually. So there wasn't a ton of Messianic congregations. If there was, we didn't know necessarily where to find them at the time. And so it was interesting because as you grow up and you're going to private schools, they're Baptist denomination, Assemblies of God. There's varying, denominations that you're a part of. And when you say I'm Jewish, the first thing people think of is, how can you be Jewish and be a Christian? And that's where I was the first one to go, no, let me show you what the Bible says about this, and it's really interesting because it's to some a foreign concept, and it shouldn't be, but.
To be honest with you, it was foreign to us. Like, we thought we knew everything about what you grew up with, but we didn't know. And what has been so exciting for us to be a part of this ministry is to learn from people like you about our Jewish roots. And it's just fascinating. We're learning all the time.
Well, it's so important. I mean, you think of history, the value of history is understanding where you came from, understanding mistakes that were made, and understanding what is there for you, what your rights are, what your inheritance is. And with the Jewish faith being, the Jews being God's chosen people, and them having this rich inheritance, and then Yeshua fulfilling the promises that are in the word, and yet they still don't know a lot of them. And so it's not about condemning, it's about informing. It's about, guys, good news. Like, you've been waiting. He came, and he wants you, and he's chosen you. And so that's
Here's
what we're
the question. Did you guys grow up? So you grew up in church.
Mm-hmm.
And like in Sunday school, were you that kid that like always raised his hand because you knew the real answer from like the Old Testament from the Jewish perspective?
And answered in Hebrew.
So that's 100% Caleb's story, right? So we had two brothers growing up with different personalities. I'm in front of the camera, people oriented, and so I love to put my arm around people and let them talk and just share with them until we're best buds and everything. And so I wasn't necessarily as confrontational. Caleb, on the other hand, was straight up. Now, that's fantastic. Here's where you're wrong. Here's the verse that says it. And like you said, here it is in Hebrew. And here's my rabbi to explain it to you if you don't understand. So
yeah.
It was the, well, actually.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well,
every time he said that, I knew chapel was going to run long at school, you know. So
Right.
He's the only guy I knew that ever got detention for doing stuff that the Bible said, as opposed to like doing bad stuff.
Like answering back or talking back to teacher, is that what?
Yeah, he would talk to them and he'd be like, your theology's wrong. Like, I love you, but here's the deal. This is what the Bible actually says about it. And here's where the roots of that concept were. And this is what was happening with the Jewish people at that time. And they're just like, detention.
Yeah. And that's what you guys are. That's what you guys are doing with your Bible Brothers. You're answering questions that all of us want to know. So did you grow up in Dallas?
So we grew up we started off in New York, and then we moved to Fort Worth when I was like 8 or 9 years old.
Wow.
And we spent the majority of our time here. So went through high school here and college. When I started college, I got the bug to just travel and to do mission work. That was always a passion of mine. And so around 18 years old, I started traveling. I got a degree in film, which gave me a reason to be able to go. And so now it's been over 20 years, 40 countries, 49 states. And
I'm interrupting. 40 countries?
40 countries, yes, ma'am. Wow. What happened is I started volunteering with my church youth group, right? Going out, just sharing the love of Yeshua. And once I had a skill set, it transitioned into, we have these efforts over here, you know, for orphan work or this or that. We want to make sure that the money's going where it's supposed to be, or this is really dangerous and we don't want to send the pastor. Who wants to go? And I was like, I want to go.
Send the Jewish boy.
Send the Jewish boy. I'm not afraid to die. And again, it's no coincidence that, you know, Joshua and Caleb gave the good report, and that was my job, was to go out with the camera and give the good report. And so that's kind of been my life.
Yeah.
I've lived in AIDS orphanages in Africa, leper colonies in India. I've been shot at in the Gaza Strip. I've pulled dead bodies out of the rubble in Haiti after the earthquake in 2010, got smuggled into Burma to help rescue girls out of sex trafficking rings. Every kind of thing you can think of. Whenever there was an opportunity, I was young, I was single, I raised my hand and took the opportunity. So
you need to write a book.
I kind of I had no idea.
That's Caleb's department. Caleb's the reading, writing one. I'm the joke guy. So
hey, honestly, like you folks that watch our program and you've seen Joshua in dramatic reenactments, you're anointed in what you do, everything you do, but the dramas are just amazing what you do. And we're so thankful to be a part of you having, being a part of this program also. And
do you know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to give everybody a cliffhanger, right? The good, big dramatic pause. Is that a good thing to do? Because we're out of time for this chat with you, but we're going to come back and we want to crazy stories about your acting. Like, you pulled a dead body out and you got shot at, and oh my gosh, we want to hear more. Dramatic ending.
But wait, there's more.
But there is. And it's next time. So thanks for joining us this time. Y'all, we got more stories. So the next cabin chat with Joshua, you've got to watch it. And I just said, y'all.
I like that. Look at that. You brought a little Texan into it.
You're from Texas. We're trying to make you feel at home.
Okay. We have more with you because we have so many questions. We want to hear some more stories. But that's it for this cabin chat. We love you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
So nice.